Well, hello there. So this is going to be the first video on this channel, while I also getting used to all this, filming in this way, because I already have my other channel and I'm kind of used to talking to a camera, but not in this way, so it's probably going to feel a little bit awkward. It is for me anyway. But I thought I would just do a little bit of an introduction, what my kind of plans are with this channel. And while I'm doing that, I then thought also just have a little look at some yarn, because that's kind of what this channel is going to be about. Just some yarn I've been wanting to try out, so we could look at that together. And also, yeah, if my voice sounds weird, that's because I've just been quite ill and I'm kind of just recovering and slowly getting my voice back, because I literally had no voice for several days, so yay. Anyway, let's just unpack the yarn first, shall we? Because now I've been crocheting since, you could say I discovered crocheting, as in I started doing it and realized I got addicted to it straight away. Not December last year, but December the year before, so a year and a few months I've been crocheting. And I've almost basically, since I started, been doing it non-stop. So I started out with, you know, the typical wearables like scarves, hats and things like that. And then pretty quickly moved on to plushies, which is what I've mainly been doing. But I've for a while been getting to a place where I really want to start doing clothes as well. So wearables, like, other than just the hats and scarves, and more like tops, skirts, whatever, that kind of stuff, clothes. And before this, I've also mainly, more or less only really used acrylic, but I want to look into more cotton and things like that, some other fibers. And I've also been really curious about something for a while, which is bamboo yarn of some sort. So my mum actually, I don't know if she had them or she kind of bought a couple because I mentioned it, and sent me a few to try out. So these are all from Hobby, so I thought that's what we would do in this video as well. Just gave a couple of these some try, because obviously there's the typical cotton, which I'm sure is going to be nice and I know other people use, but I've just been really interested in trying out the bamboo as well, or like bamboo cotton mix, just because it does seem to be a little bit different, but still has the kind of similar properties as cotton, but still different. So I kind of wanted to just try a few different ones before I actually invest in anything, you know, a bigger amount to make like a whole piece of something. So like I said, my mum sent me a couple of these and I'm going to visit her literally tomorrow, as I'm filming this anyway. So I kind of thought I just need to try them out before I go, because I'm hoping that while I'm there we're going to go to the actual Hobby shop, so the physical shop, not just online. I just want to kind of have a look and see what it's like in real life, although I can obviously order online. But anyway, so she also sent me all of them in purple, basically, because that's my favorite color. I really love this color. This color would be, by the way, I have two things in mind that I really want to do. Start out with clothes wise. It's two video tutorials from someone. I really like the design. I'll put a link to them in the description box down below for the two. One is a shirt, a top, and then one is like a cardigan style thing. I really like both of them, and honestly I would do both of them in this just based on the colour, but it's the actual yarn itself I'm interested in trying out as well, and then obviously see what colours are available. So anyway, I think I'm just going to need to get my hooks out as well. This is just a little set of hooks that I've had for ages that I actually use for wire crochet that I've been doing for a while now, on my other channel, my jewelry channel. But my main hooks are downstairs that I use for crochet, so I'm just using these. So I think let's just start with the cotton since we're talking about it. And there's two sizes as well, so there's the 8/8 and the 8/4, however you say that. Let's just check what hooks I'm gonna need. That's around here. So the 8/8, let's just start with the big one, why not, the thickest one. It says crochet 3.5 to 4 mil, so that would be 3.5 to 4. I would probably tend to go towards the smaller end of that, probably partly because I've been working mostly with amigurumi, doing plushies since I started almost. And where'd you go? Let's get, these are really clever. I'm very impressed with this already, how you got that ready to go, and it's for the center pole. I love that little feature. Let's pull a little bit out. So I'm just going to do some little test things to see how I like the feel of it, how it comes out. Anyway, I was saying I've been really doing amigurumi, so I tend to stick towards the smaller end or go down in size, but obviously this is going to be close, so I'm going to also have to learn a bit to kind of get used to doing that, like what sizes to use and the tension, things like that. So that's also kind of going to be part of it, but I'm going to start with, what did I say? I've taken the 3.5, that's the smaller end of what it suggested or recommended. And let's just do a couple of, I don't know, single crochet, double crochet, something like that. Just see how it kind of, I want to see what it feels like, the kind of final texture, because I want clothes to be more flowy and less tight and stiff as how you want amigurumi, of course. So, and also, it's a little bit awkward using these hooks now for me because I've found a brand, I guess you could say, that I actually quite like, and they're downstairs, so I haven't really got them here, and I'm not going to go down for them right now. I'm just going to use what I have, but it's kind of a collection of hooks that I'm building up because they cost a little bit, they're not just a cheap set, so I'm kind of doing it hook by hook a bit at a time. I have, I think, 5 or 6 of them now. Obviously that's not all the sizes, so we'll see how this comes up. But anyway, my plans with this channel, as I'm working a little bit here, is literally just really to follow my crochet journey. I myself have also, since I started doing crochet, become quite obsessed with watching crochet, as in on YouTube. Obviously tutorials, and that is also something I do plan on doing, because also after a couple months of doing crochet, I started doing my own patterns fairly quickly, and I already have a few ready, just haven't kind of published them yet, but that's part of what I'm planning on doing. It's definitely tutorials, because that is something that's kind of like my bread and butter on my other channel. But I also want to do more than that. I want to kind of also just do my journey with crochet. I want to do like vlog style content, I don't know, challenge videos, kind of just have fun with it, have fun with crochet. I think that's going to be enough. I'm not doing anything fancy. One thing I also have thought, I think obviously with amigurumi, I'm doing yarn under, so I go under like this. That's literally what I do with all of that. But I think that's for the purpose, obviously, for getting it nice and tight and nice and even stitches. But I think for clothes, what I'm going to aim to do is kind of do the yarn over, the regular yarn over, you could say, to get a little bit less tight stitch. Also because my natural tension is tight. It is with everything, to be honest. I do. Whether it's wire work, like I do on my other channel, macrame, whatever I do tends to be quite a tight tension I have naturally on things. So I want to try and make sure that I don't, when it's going to come to wearables here, and of course I've created a knot somehow, I don't like it being too open in the stitches, unless obviously there's some kind of pattern involved in it. I prefer to keep more of a tight, almost as if it's a fabric if I can help it. But I also don't want it to be too tight, so it's kind of just finding that right tension. That is obviously something I just gotta get used to, since mainly just doing amigurumi. So yeah, I'm just starting out with some single crochet, but I'm gonna probably move over to double crochet as well. It's because one of the patterns, actually both of them I think, that I want to do with the tops is mainly double crochet. Now I'm also probably going to use more linked double crochet, because again I prefer when the stitches and the final textile thing isn't too open and too much of like a weave. See, this does feel awkward for me, but because I'm not used to this hook now, and to be fair, I'm also stretching my arms out quite a bit right now to be in shot for the camera. But anyway, yeah, that's, I guess, my plan. Is I don't have a specific plan of I'm gonna aim and do this and that, and then I'm gonna do this frequency and all that. I'm literally just wanting to have fun with yarn and share it, also because I don't have anyone close in my life that I can share it with, as in meet up with and crochet together or something like that. And who knows, maybe at some point dabble a little bit in knitting. Right now I'm just focused on crochet, but you never know, I'm open to it. So that is my plan, really, is to definitely do tutorials, and also ones for sale, because I also want to do written and picture tutorials to sell, and have fun, like do vlog style content, do challenge videos possibly, whatever I can think of, really. And I kind of just want to share the journey, because like I said, I only really have myself to do it with otherwise. And I enjoy watching loads of crochet content. There's a couple of channels that I've kind of become a little bit obsessed with, which is a similar style of content as well. So I kind of thought, if that's what I like watching, then it kind of makes sense that that's what I'm going to create myself. So the aim is really just to do that and share the journey. And if anyone wants to join me and crochet together or virtually, then obviously that is ideal, and that's kind of the whole point. But I just kind of want to do more with it and have fun with it. So yeah, that's really it. I'm almost at the end here. I think I'm going to then switch to double crochet. Like I said, it does feel pretty nice to work with, though. I'm pretty sure I haven't worked with cotton at all. Or if I have, it's very little, or maybe I wasn't aware of it. But this feels pretty nice. Not really split or anything, and I'm liking this hook size as well for now. Like I said, it feels a little awkward, but that I think is because of the hook compared to what I'm normally using now. I think the ones that I've kind of discovered that I really like are the swing hooks, pretty sure they're called, and they just feel really nice in the hand and feeling that really nice to use, I think. So let's try and do some double. And also because I'm stretching my arms out quite a bit, which is not normally how I would work when I'm sitting on the sofa, for instance. But anyway, so I'm just doing some link crochet to see how that feels, because it's also about not even what kind of yarn, with the cotton or bamboo or something. What I really do like is the bamboo has kind of got some kind of, it's hard to describe, but a little bit of a sheen to it. It's not a sheen, but it's a sheen, like a subtle sheen, I guess. So I do like that, and the way it feels as well feels really nice. And there's a skirt that I saw a tutorial for as well, which I'll also put a link for that in the description box down below, that I would love to make at some point, and I think that's really gorgeous as well. And I'm pretty sure that was made with one of these, I don't remember which one, but one of the bamboo ones from Hobby. So, and on the video, of course, it's not exactly the same as what you can see on the video, but on the video it just looked like it had a really nice texture to it and drape and flowiness. So that's why as well I'm really curious about trying that out. But also, anyway, what I was getting to, for instance, with the cotton here, this was the thick one, so the 8/8, but then the 8/4 as well, to kind of figure out which one I prefer for, say, the clothes that I'm looking at wanting to make. So do I want it a bit thicker here, or do I want the thinner one? I guess it all depends on what kind of look, but also kind of, I guess, how it would feel. My instinct would be probably for the thinner one, but then it could also be depending on the project, because the pattern, obviously the pattern you're making in the crochet, so the stitch rather, would end up looking the same, except it would be finer or less fine in the final look. And again, all then depending on what it is I'm looking for, or the look that I prefer for how I want the final look to be. So there's a lot of factors, so I'm just going to try these out quickly before I go. So hopefully we manage to go to the shop and I can have a look in real life there as well, and if possible maybe even take you with me. That will make a nice video, I think. I know there's someone else that I've been following for quite a while. I forget the name. I'll put the channel name down below as well. Just everything that I'm talking about I'll put down below. But she does a lot of where she visits yarn shops and yarn places and fairs and events and things like that. And I've gotten quite obsessed with watching her channel as well. So if I like watching that, then why not make some for myself? It sounds like my husband's just walked in. So I'm just going to carry on a bit here and see how I like it, and I'll get back to you. So, my darling.
Harry? Hey? Harry? Hey? Hey? Harry?
Come in. Sorry, Fia. Annette, she wants to tell you something. Right. Thanks, Donna. I did see that girl. No. We're still looking. Do you know about her? I'm worried the same thing happened to her that happened to me.
Right, so I've made a little piece and I'm quite liking how it feels. I will say you can definitely tell it's chunky because obviously it's a thicker yarn. So I've just got a little sample of that. I'll do the other cotton one next, the one that's half the thickness more or less, according to the number anyway. Now what size hook? 2.5 to 3 mil, so I'm going down a little bit. Let me find one of them. 2.5 to 3. Let's try 2.5. That one. Find that tab. I do really like that they have these little tabs, easy to find the end, but also it's for the center pull, so you don't have to go in there and really dig around and pull out like a blob of yarn or something. So that is a big plus. I'm liking that. Oh, there's a little blob, but that's fine. Right, so let's just try and do the same with this. You can definitely tell straight away that this is thinner. I'm just curious about what kind of look and what kind of feel it will give compared to each other. Husband coughing. Like I said, we've both been ill, so yay. Still technically are, but I would say in the recovery phase, but it's very slow. I don't want to make it too big. I did consider making the samples the actual stitch that I want to do one of the tops in, but I couldn't really be bothered looking at it up right now, so I'm just doing basic, mainly double crochet, the linked one, because that is what I prefer to do if I can. I do really like this color though. This is my kind of purple. This is like the perfect purple color. I don't want to make this too long, but I want to make it long enough so I can kind of get a feel for the flowiness and the movement of it. and compare them. Does seem like a nice size hook to use with it though. Bless you! Hey, we're a right pair at the moment. He can barely hear anything. Coughing all the time, nose is going. I can barely talk, even though it's gotten a little better. My nose is going all the time, coughing here and there. Yay. Joys of being ill. I usually don't get ill very often, but when I do, I usually get it quite bad. And I tend to lose my voice as well, which is lovely when you gotta use your voice when what you do for a living. But this time we were ill at Christmas quite badly, and then we just past week or two we've been ill again, so a little bit more frequent than normal. I think we've had enough now. Plus I'm traveling tomorrow, so could do without any more of this now. Oh, that's actually longer than it needs to be. Let's undo a couple of them. It's going to be a lot of stitches to go into. I was on autopilot for a bit. Alright, let's do the same style with a single crochet and then get onto the link double crochet. So yeah, I've got to just literally just got the suitcases out of the cupboard where we keep them, and obviously I've got to then pack in a little bit. I'm not bringing super much. I'm only going for a few days, for 5 days or so, but still gotta get packed and then get a shower, stuff like that, get ready for tomorrow, and hopefully do some yarn looking / shopping while I'm there. So that's another thing I've got to get used to as well if I want to do more vlog style content, is obviously the whole actually filming. Kind of get used to that and comfortable with that, and all the out in public and stuff. Keep telling myself not to give a shit, and I kind of don't, but at the same time I have this thing in me where I do, that I can't quite get rid of. But I keep trying to tell myself, who cares, who gives a shit, whatever, even if someone does, it's their problem, not mine. My life, do what I want with it. I'd rather get old and look back and not have regrets of what I didn't do than what I did do. I'm going to regret more not having done something that I wanted to do than having done it and it going wrong. So keep trying to tell myself, just do it. Just do it. The only one holding you back is yourself. And ain't that the truth? I can tell you how much I've held myself back through my whole life. And I really wanna, and / I'm getting to a point in my life where I just don't want that to be the case anymore. I'm sick of it, and I'm kind of getting to the point and trying to push myself to the point where I just don't care anymore. As in, don't care what anyone says or thinks. Because what does it matter at the end of the day? If only it was that simple, but I'm working on it. Anyway, I'm gonna keep going with this for a bit. Definitely already has quite a different feel. You can feel the thickness of this first one. It is quite thick when the final kind of fabric. So obviously that's something to keep in mind as well regarding how the final piece is going to be wearability wise and like heat and things like that. How warm, I guess, do you want the top to be? Like the thicker it is, I guess, the warmer it will be. If it's thinner yarn, it'll be a little bit more flowy. That's how I look at it. So I'm not sure yet, but we'll have to see which one I prefer to use. Well, obviously there's the other bamboo ones as well. Which reminds me, I also just need to look up the colorways of these bamboo ones, because I really do like this one specifically. I could see the tops I want to make in this color straight away. And I'm pretty sure they have the same colors in both sizes. But then obviously it's just the bamboo ones. From these colors, they look like they're a little bit more muted, what they have. But I'll have to look at the whole color range and have a see if I can find anything that jumps out at me. Particularly purple. Ideally something bright purple like this. So I'll work on this one for a bit and meet back up and we can compare the cotton ones. Cutie pie. Baby. You singing, girl? You sing, my darling. So I finished a little sample of this as well. I've got two to compare, and I actually really like the feel and the movement and kind of the sense of both of them. Definitely this is obviously thicker, so that's kind of, if that's the goal you're looking for, and this is definitely thinner. So I think for what I'm looking to make right now, if I'm just looking at these two, obviously I haven't tried the bamboo yet. I'm trying to not be biased because of the colour. But anyway, I think I'm leaning more towards the thinner one right now for what I'm looking to make. But I do like this as well, so I'll definitely keep that in mind. So what I'm going to do next is have a little look at these. So I'm not going to check in every time I tried one. I'm just going to kind of play around with it a little bit, make a couple of samples. And I'll check back in with you once I've done a bit with all of them. So I finished all the samples and I've had a shower as well, so we're getting ready. I'm still yet to pack, so I'm just gonna kind of have a little look at the samples here, see what I think. And honestly, I like all of them. So I think it's kind of what I said, each of them have their own purpose really. So this one is definitely the chunkier one, and like I wouldn't make this for say like a much of a summer top or anything, but I do like it. This one, I am leaning towards this being the one I'm going to use for the top that I'm wanting to make. And so these are the two cotton ones. This one actually turns out that it is, what did it say? It's rainbow bamboo, but then the content is viscose and cotton. So I don't read bamboo there, so I don't really know what that means, but anyway, I do like it. At first I was a bit unsure of it. When I kind of did the first few chains and stitches and that, I wasn't sure about how it felt, but then once I got going, I actually started really enjoying it, and I also quite like the end result. The cotton one is definitely more stiff, whereas this has got some more softness and flowiness to it, so I do like that about it. It's on the chunkier side again. It's not quite as chunky as this thick cotton one, but it's not quite as thin as the thin cotton one either. So it's kind of a nice medium, and I do like the final result. And then there's the two other bamboo ones. So these two here, and these are the contents. It's 70%, I think they're, oh no, they're not the same. This one is 70% bamboo, 23% cotton, and 7% acrylic. And this one is 40% tencel, whatever that is. 60% bamboo, and it has a little asterisk there, bamboo viscose made. So that's what that other one said. That said 60% viscose. So I'm guessing that might be a similar type thing, but they do feel very different. But these two do feel very similar, but at the same time slightly different. So these are ones where also the strands basically are loosely woven together, you could say, or spun rather, I think is what it's called. So that's obviously quite different to work with than say some of the others, and definitely takes a bit of getting used to, and it has more of a tendency to split, but once you kind of get used to working with it, it got easier. So I like them too, and I also really like the end result. I kind of feel like it's quite firm for a fabric. By firm I mean tight, as in obviously I'm using the link double crochet, so it shouldn't be too holdy, but even then, like here you still get a little bit of gapness, if you can call it that, here and there. But these, I feel like they kind of feel more of a fabric once you have the final result. And I also like that they're on the thinner side and they end up being very soft and malleable and flowy. So I do really like them as well. So yeah, I like all of them and could see myself using all of them. But I think to pick for right now, I think I'm gonna go with the, let's get it correct, cotton, Friends Cotton 8-4, and probably this color, coincidentally. And also I think price, because I'm pretty sure these cotton ones are the cheapest ones anyway, pretty reasonably priced. So, because obviously I'm going to need quite a few rolls, especially because these are only 50, I think, 50 gram. There we go, 50 grams. So, and obviously with the thinner one as well, it's not going to go as far as, say, the thicker one, even though you do get more length on it. So I think for the top I'm wanting to make first, it's going to be this yarn here that I'm going to go for. Unless I change my mind, but that's how it stands right now. So obviously it all depends as well if I'm going to actually make it to the shop, but hopefully we'll find that out soon enough. So yeah, I think there's a little play around with this yarn, trying to figure out what I want to use for my next pretty big project. And first proper piece of clothing. Well, first piece of clothing, because I don't know, hats and scarves really count, but anyway, my first top. So I think I've got to carry on and actually get some packing done, because we are leaving at like 6 in the morning, if not a bit before that. So thankfully I'm not bringing so much, but I better get on with that. So I'm not going to be doing that at midnight tonight. Let's get some packing done.